Okay, so this is the story of the Island of the Dolls. Located south of Mexico City, between the canals of Xochimilco. I believe that's how you pronounce it. You will find a very strange island that today is somewhat of a tourist attraction. An island that is filled with thousands of dirty, decaying, and some would say haunted dolls. To find out why, we must go back in time to the 1950s. That's when Don Julian Santana Barrera abandoned his family to live a life of solitude on this island. His family believed he had gone insane. The details are hazy, but we know that not long after arriving on his purchased island, he found the body of a young girl drowned in the lake. A doll came floating down the canals shortly afterward, changing the course of Santana Barrera's life and the shape of the island for years to come. Barrera took the doll and hung it on a nearby tree. Versions of the legend vary as to his reasoning. Some say it was a sign of respect for the dead girl, others saying it was protect himself from her and appease her spirit. Others yet claiming it to protect the girl's spirit from the demons in the water. So it's to protect the girl's spirit. So there's different reasons that people believe. For the next 50 years, Santana Barrera would scrounge dolls from the trash and from the canals and hang them from the island's many trees. Some he'd hang whole, others in various states of despair, or disrepair, I should say. Headless, torso-less, or taken apart in other ways. Again, things get murky as to the different beliefs behind hanging as many dolls as he could find throughout the island. But according to, I'm going to butcher this name, Regilio Sanchez Santana, who is the current guardian of the dolls, as they call him. He is the great nephew of Barrera. According to him, this is what he says: the spirit of the girl was living in sorrow. In the mornings, Julian started seeing ghosts and one day woke up to find all his crops had died. He tried many things to improve his crops, but he couldn't because the spirit damaged it. He became more and more scared. Barrera then built an altar in his one-room cabin on the island where he and his wife lived, hoping to appease the spirit. This part, I put in parentheses, this part confused me a little bit because it originally said he abandoned his family.
Mm-hmm. But now it's saying they live together?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if his wife ended up moving onto the island with him after he discovered the body. Like, that's, I'm sure, a traumatic thing. Maybe that helped reconcile them.
Maybe so.
Or if this was just later on, like, he ended up saying, like, hey, this island that I bought to live in solitude is actually pretty legit, minus the body, so maybe. But Santana continues saying, even after building the altar, the spirit still came. So he started collecting dolls as a way to protect himself from the spirit. So that is according to his nephew, that it was to protect himself from the spirit. So maybe. All of these dolls are all still there to this day, decaying, sometimes beheaded, and truly creepy. Everywhere you look, there are dirty dolls hanging from trees, nailed to buildings and other structures, strung along clotheslines. Some say Barrera was increasingly haunted by a girl whispering, "I want my doll," and footsteps in the dead of night. According to some, Barrera soon realized the dolls themselves were possessed by the spirits of dead girls. Yet he continued to collect these creepy dolls, hanging them over the entire island, which led those close to him to believe that he was being driven by some unseen force that completely changed him. Some even speculated that he himself became possessed by the spirit of the little girl, or something else. In 2001, Barrera was found dead, having drowned in the exact same spot that he found the little girl's body. That's the twist there. That's what really got me, was that part. I was like, whoa, wait a second.
Also, like, I was kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt at first. Like, to find a dead child would be traumatizing, and you probably want to honor the child in some way, like, if it really affected you.
Right.
But, like, it seemed like the spirit was after him and, like, kind of vengeful. So I was like, did he actually murder the child?
Yeah, I don't know. There were also other versions of this story where he actually saw the girl still alive when she was drowning, and he rushed out there, and he couldn't get to her in time. And so he felt guilty that he couldn't save her, and then also maybe she was upset that she didn't get saved.
Okay. I can live with that version.
Yeah, hopefully he didn't murder.
Yeah.
And now he's just hanging dolls up. And so in response to his death in 2001, tourists began flocking to the island to pay tribute. They brought dolls of their own, and to this day people honor both Santana Barrera and the girl by hanging up dolls in tribute. Or perhaps to continue appeasing the same spirit or spirits that Barrera was appeasing before his death. After all, locals insist that the dolls come alive and move at night.
Wouldn't want to live near that.
Some witnesses claim that they have heard the dolls whispering to each other. If the haunted dolls and uneasy spirits didn't make it clear, it's worth noting that the Island of the Dolls is not exactly a tranquil visit. Beyond the maybe possessed dolls, feral cats and many spiders all make up the ecosystem of the Island of the Dolls. So those interested in visiting the eerie island better prepare themselves. The only way to reach this island is by Trahinera, which is a colorful ferry. So there's, you can go look up pictures. There's like colorful ferries that they go on like tours and stuff all around. And many of the boats won't have the Island of the Dolls in their itinerary, so thrill-seeking visitors will need to ask to be taken there. Some drivers still refuse to go near it because of the weird energy they get there, claiming that the dolls have tried to lure them and even possess them. So that is the story of the Island of the Dolls. I'm going to pull up some pictures to show you.
But yeah, so I wonder what what really went down.
I know. I know. There's a picture there. Like, these are some creepy looking pictures for any listener. These are just, as I described earlier, decaying,
moss and like mildew growing on them
all over them, and there's so many just hanging everywhere. Look at that, just
how could you live there?
Tree upon tree, hanging dolls that apparently talk to each other. Look, that one looks like it's jumping at you.
Oh yeah, like out of the tree, like it's
like, this is so creepy looking. And to think, if the legend of all these dolls being possessed was true, all of them are possessed by a different little girl.
And like the eyes are all like, a lot of them are like blank because I guess decay or like the sun, so like there's no color to them anymore.
Yeah, I think if there is, like, look at that, looks like blood all over it.
Yeah, someone had to mess with that one.
But like, if I were to lean into, if I were to think there was anything supernatural behind that, I would lean more towards there's like a demonic entity there.
Yeah.
And that